Again, I'm going to start with the physical and physiological changes that occurred first. And I say that because that's where I started my trauma healing. By the time I got to that place, I had high blood pressure. I had a malignancy on my back that took 2 outpatient surgeries to remove. Um, what else? I was overweight. So I'm not as pretty as I am now. Anyway, physiological and physical. And I start there because the process I use at Raise Your Resilience is what I learned from the man who created TRE. And it's using I was talking to my Krav Maga students about it last night. It's using the innate tremoring process. And without getting into a lot of other stuff, which is in many other videos that you can find here or on YouTube or wherever, or if you have questions, just let me know. Lecky at raiseyourresilience.com. So it's that name, that place. Okay. As I started to tremor, looking back now it's been a decade, 12 years, 2013, 12 years, almost 12 years. Looking back now, I can say a lot of things began to happen. First was, as you tremor, you're going to find things, you're going to feel things in your body that you never even imagined. It's really exceptional. And that's why I focus on it with my clients. It's amazing what your body wants to do. And I think one of the key aspects of healing trauma is self-regulation. That's where it begins, is learning how to do this thing, how to optimally use and benefit from the tremoring mechanism. And that is learning how to self-regulate, which is why you want a provider. But I'm aside from myself. So the first thing I noticed was after some time, I'm going to say a year, 2 years or so, my body began to say, get up and move more. I was living in a condo and so forth and so on. And so I said, get up, move more. What did that mean? Well, so what I decided is that, because I was doing a lot of studying on the, research on the internet, looking for because I mentioned the breakdown in my last video. So there's the breakdown. What happened to me and how do I heal this? How do I correct this? And then along the way, learning that what happened to me was trauma. What did that even mean? And how do I correct that? Was taking up my time. And I was doing a little odd stuff here and there. Thankfully, didn't have to worry much about an income. So thank you to those who were so gracious. And I mean, I did my part. Anyway, limited time here, making these short. So I finally I'd leave my seat. I would go down the steps, up, down, down, up to my seat. Every hour I did that. It didn't take very long. I was surprised at how difficult it was, but I wasn't in good shape, like I mentioned before. And that involved steps down, steps up, steps down, some steps, which I appreciated. And then my body began still saying, more. I want something more aerobic than this walking around. So we started hiking trails. And then at a certain point, I decided with my sons, I was going to go climb Mount Pilchuck. Yeah. Well, okay. The website does say it's a bit more of a hike than a climb. And that's probably true, depending on how prepared you are. I mean, I thought I was in decent shape. In fact, I think, in my, more cardio, I was thinking bike, but the last time I rode a bike, I really messed up my back. And that's when I discovered that bikes are fitted for your body. It wasn't true when I was a kid. Anyway, I'd gone to this Krav class, and oh, lo and behold, this was max VO2, they call it. Not the class. In personal trainer circles, we call it max VO2, personal trainer. Okay, you might get an idea where this is going. So anyway, I I needed more. Did the trails, did the mountain. The mountain messed up my IT bands pretty badly. Took me a while to heal from that. Made Krav class really difficult, but I was getting the max O2, but that wasn't quite what I needed or wanted, and so started to taper that off. But in any event, I was listening to my body, and then finally over time, I got into the Krav Maga class, and that was helping then, and really some serious carb burning. The other thing then is I decided to become a personal trainer. And that's when because in the Krav classes, I was trying to help my students, not just with their martial skills, but okay, if you're going to come to class heavy, you're going to run out of gas. If you're going to, this, that, and the other thing, I finally realized that I need to be healthier myself. Because if this is going to be a fighting machine, and it's not, it's a fighting organism, that fighting organism needed fuel. So what kind of fuel do you want to put in your body? Garbage? Okay, guess what you'll get in performance? You'll get garbage. Yeah, garbage in, garbage out. That's an old coder's maxim from my days. Okay, well then maybe I should start working on my own first. Start eating better. Single ingredient foods that are as local as possible and as organic as possible. Okay, cool. And then every once in a while I will tiramisu, you say? Count me in. But in this process, I start to learn something. I start to learn that, oh yeah, first bite of tiramisu. Oh man, that is so good. That second bite of tiramisu is still, oh, more heaven. I'm still there. That third bite of tiramisu, all right, that sweetness kind of went away. Now it's got a metallic tang to it. And my body is saying, richness factor has been achieved. We're done. And if I eat beyond that, I get heartburn. There's a lesson. In the Krav Maga, I started having to do things, and I'll tell you this little story. When I was a firefighter before I retired in 2015 and before I started Krav Maga in 2016, I could get all my gear on, which is about 70, 80 pounds, and I could get up on the elliptical machine, and I could, full gear, mask the whole shot. I could do all kinds of time on that elliptical machine at an incline. But boy, if I went to the, adjustable barbells we had, and I can't remember who made those, the Nordic Track people. Oh my God, would I get headaches? Oh, it didn't seem to matter what I tried for my upper body. It hurt. Quandary. So in this Krav class now, some time later, and I had learned how to tremor in 2013. So moving forward a little bit, we got into some advanced stuff, and the instructor says, okay, everybody go get a resistance band. And I didn't even know what that was. And so okay, that one, it's green. Green's go color. So grab this thing. And so the instructor says, this is what I want you to do is a combination. You'll do this for so many minutes. Okay, cool. We're doing this kind of thing. I'm just going, oh man, I am going to have a whopping headache tomorrow. And it never happened. Yeah, that was my look the next morning. Cool. What's going on? Did it again. Did it several times. I've been doing it since. No headaches. My speculation, I have no scientific data to support this, is I was carrying all my tension right back here. All of that traumatizing stress was sitting right here for the most part. This is where the tension was carrying it. And if you saw the last video, I used an arm gesture for that, and that would suggest that. Okay, cool. My body tremored that away. So I was more than happy to pick up a set of resistance bands and start doing this stuff myself at home, which I did. And then I've got some pictures I've posted on other social media accounts of some of the stuff I used to do in the dojang with ladders on the floor and the jump boxes and the waveforms and the other stuff that I did, the smash ball. We had the ropes, battle ropes. There's stuff that I have done, and all my stuff is right over here. Now I have a set of collection of kettlebells here because that's what I've moved up to. And I can do all this stuff now because my physiology has changed. The tremoring mechanism allows you to come back to physiologically a place of equilibrium, where now I can start building muscle. Now I don't, okay, my age, I kind of have to watch some of this stuff because if I push it, I get injured. And that's where this regulation thing carries over into this. Now, when I've been injured, another story, I once was kicking the waveform I bought, and basically that's just a tube you can kick. It's got water in the base so that it doesn't tip over unless you have it all the way extended high and you kick it really hard. It will go over. And anyway, I was doing my back kicks on this, or I was doing the warrior combinations, which include a back kick, and messed myself up once. It was bad. I mean, to the point where it was disruptive to my ability to walk. And okay, day job kind of requires that. So one of the things I added to my recovery process was tremoring. Because I've been doing this long enough, I could modify how we typically do the mechanism to adjust this one hip, this whole leg, hip, lower back issue I was having, and literally changed it overnight. It still was about 3 days before I was symptom free, but I went from almost zero to having a pretty high degree, 70%, 75% degree of mobility that I didn't have before. And I've also used it to recover from illnesses. And I think that because of what this does physiologically and brings you back to equilibrium where your immune system's working better, it has prevented all kinds of stuff like common colds and things like this from happening at all. I might get a bug, it might last 24 hours. I haven't had, the last time I was really sick, 2022, in the height of the fire season here. I got sinusitis. Oh man, and did that hit me hard. Even though we haven't had a smoke season like that since then, I developed a protocol at that time for this type of event. And that's because I have the knowledge now. I have the ability to look at myself and my body, hear what it's saying to me about what it needs, or, okay, I can say the symptoms, like in the afternoons, I crave crunchy, salty. Well, what does that mean? Eat pretzels? Not necessarily. Figure out what that means and deal with it. I can hear those signals, and that is a huge step. My overall physical health is the best it's ever been. Anyway, that's my story. It is integratedly sticking to me. Bye.